It is Wednesday, June 10th, 2026. This is another edition of Baseball Today presented to you by T-Mobile. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan along for the ride as well. I have no idea what color shirt Dan is wearing, but you and I apparently got the Team Uni memo.
Yeah, this is a very strange combination right now. I kind of blend into my back wall. I got dressed early. I was up at 5 a.m. this morning, not really sure why. And I put on like a workout type outfit. Then I just grabbed this hat. Then I came on, saw you're wearing a Rockies hat, and I have a purple pencil. And all of a sudden, I told Dan we look like Barney. And to my surprise, he knew who Barney was.
Yeah, I was surprised too. Dan is, what is he, 26? So yeah, I didn't think that he knew exactly who Barney was. Maybe Darwin Barney, if you remember that name.
Oh, wow. Darwin Barney. He made him on.
I has no idea who Darwin
training.
You played with him in spring training?
Great glove.
Yes. Yeah. Excellent.
Oregon State?
I think you're right. I think he was an Oregon State Beaver.
Okay.
Nice. All right. Let's get it going. If everybody can get past our green, purple, and what is that, a fuchsia hat that you've got on? I don't know. Whatever it is. Here we go.
It's a green hat too? Am I crazy?
Yeah, it is. It's just different. It's different. We're screwing with everybody's vision today on the YouTube side of things. Sorry about it. Tip of the cap. Cardinals, they start off their road trip in style. 7-0 winner up at Citi Field. Dustin May was great. I think he picked up his first win since April. How odd is that? A guy named May doesn't even win in May. Nathan Church, 3 hits. Dude is a dog. And if you need proof, check out his post-game banter. That away, Nathan. You don't hear a lot of guys barking after, and that was actually pretty solid.
I feel like you always hear guys barking. I thought that was funny though, because you saw him right before he decided to do it. He was like, "Dang, should I do this right now?" And he's like, whatever, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean,
great. You got a good bark?
I do. I don't know if it's going to be good this time in the morning. Got to clear it, but rough.
Okay.
It's a little higher pitch.
Yeah, it's like a small to medium-sized dog bark.
Well, that's what Sydney is a small to medium-sized dog, so that's what I hear all day.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not as tough, but I think it's realistic.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, you got a great inflection, the ability to manipulate your vocal cords.
Thank you. All right, well, I'll use my vocal cords to tell you a little bit about this. That it's time for Pack in the Park, where we look at players and storylines that are getting fans into the stadium. It is brought to you by SeatGeek. And folks, it is getting tougher and tougher to get a ticket on the south side of Chicago because they have unquestionably been the baseball story of the year. Another chapter was written as they brought up another one of their top prospects. This time it's Braden Montgomery. My, what a major league debut.
0-1. Montgomery hits a fly ball pretty well. Deep left, and it is gone! He's won it! No chance! An opposite way, 2-run homer. Braden Montgomery coming around third. He's gonna be mobbed by his teammates. This team is something else.
It's surreal. I mean, I couldn't even hear anything. I was told the crowd was pretty loud, but it was a changeup. Yeah.
2 changeups.
Yep, put a good swing on it, and the rest is history.
For those of you that are audio only, you missed out. That kid's smile is fantastic.
It's incredible. What I mean, everything about the kid. I watched a interview that he did. I don't know if it was in the off season or whatever it was. He was describing himself as a player. He says, I do some pretty electric things on the field. And sure enough, first game, by the way, number 24, gotta love that.
Yeah.
He hits one. I actually posted this on our Instagram, just kind of like describing the moment. Think about this. Your first game, walk-off homer, opposite field homer. Off of Raisel Iglesias, how many homers had he given up prior to this?
I mean,
0.
You guys been dominant.
0.
Dominant.
It's an incredible moment, and then I saw something that I think is going to be funny. I want everyone to pay attention to this because this happens all the time when guys get called up. You got minor league hair, like, like not a great hair situation going on. I can't wait to see the big league cut that this guy is going to get. He's a stud, and I love everything about it for the White Sox. Man, for a couple of years there, Chris, when I'd go call games, it was empty. I'm talking like so empty that I swear I didn't want to talk too loud because you could hear it echoing through the state. I'm not even kidding. I'm not kidding, dude. So to see that place packed, and I know I'm a Twins guy, but I'm happy when a fan base gets a good team, and that place when they put together a good team on the field, they definitely show up. So what a just a night for everybody involved.
Yeah, he said he had like 30 family and friends there. First at bat, I think he struck out. Later on, he got his first RBI. I think it's kind of cool that Bob Costas was actually calling it on the TV side of things because the White Sox TV network, they went back retro in the 80s. So it was Costas and Steve Stone. They used the old graphics. That was kind of fun. They used some anecdotes. We used the radio call from Len Casper and Darren Jackson because those guys over the last few weeks, my God, they have been living good against the Cubs, other time, and now this sort of stuff. And let's keep in mind that Montgomery was part of that vaunted 2024 draft class. He was taken 12th overall, but not by these Sox, by the Red Sox. He was one of the 4 players that came over in the Garrett Crochet deal. The others, Mydroth, Teal. So 3 out of those 4 are going to be regular contributors here. The other one is Wickelman Gonzalez, who actually played last year, I think, for the White Sox. Yeah, pitched last year for the White Sox. I don't know where he is right now, but actually did okay last year in his short stint. So that's another reason, by the way, just looking ahead to August when we have the trade deadline, everybody starts grading trades and say we didn't get enough. Wait a little bit. Let's let it shake out a couple of years, particularly in this sport. But let's get back to kind of where Chicago is right now, which is just a half game back of the Cleveland Guardians in the American League Central. I know that we've talked a lot about the White Sox in recent weeks, but did they just fire a warning shot to the rest of the division last night?
I think they've been doing that, Chris. I truly do. I think Murakami was probably the first warning shot, like, hey, we did well on this one. Some of the pitching that they've brought up, or guys that have really improved this year. I know Anthony Kay's last start wasn't good, but he's improved after making a mound adjustment. My guy David Sandlin's actually back in the minors after getting roughed up the last couple of starts. But I think they've been playing well all year long, and the energy's there. Colson Montgomery clearly has the league on notice as well. It looks like they're clearly headed in the right direction with what I already said. I think they're going to win the AL Central. If you just look at their team up and down, I think they have the most complete roster. And there's a certain, not a magic, but a certain, vibe that they're giving off that I think really exemplifies a team that is in it to win it.
Yeah, I think it's more than just a vibe. They're unquestionably the deepest lineup in that division. And I don't know how many lineups are better in the American League. And that's weird to say because they have so few guys who have any significant time in the big leagues. I mean, go look at the dudes that they're relying on every day, right? Now it's going to be both Montgomerys. Mydroth, I think, has made it safely in 20 straight games on base. Antonacci has given them athleticism, brought something to their lineup. Peters has turned into a doubles machine. Miguel Vargas probably should be the starting third baseman. You could make an argument for Junior Caminero that I would listen to, but he has made such a difference. He has already tied his single season high with his 16th homer of the year last night. So up and down the lineup, it's young, it's energetic. They can run. They can put the ball over the fence. They're a top 5 home run team. It's just a little bit of everything that they've got. Now, once again, the only reason I'm a little hesitant is because of the pitching staff. 60 or 65 games. I mean, that's not even halfway through a season. So do they have enough to make it all the way? Because Cleveland does have some pitching depth. We'll see what's going to happen with Detroit. They're a team they're stepping on the accelerator right now, and Tarek Skubal could be back as early as, I think, this weekend, for God's sakes, it sounds like. So I'm not going to count them out at all. But, boy, what a joy to watch they have been this year.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to put up runs. Where are they in the league in runs scored? I'm getting it up right now. I feel like they got to be at least top 10. And that's
Wouldn't surprise me. Well, you look
well,
at that.
They're eighth in runs.
Eighth in runs.
Third in home runs, seventh in OBP, fourth in OPS.
By the way, they're over 500 since Murakami went down with that hamstring. We thought maybe that would be not the end of it, but really help make them struggle. You know, they've been 5-4, which could be good enough in that division. Braden Montgomery last night became the 5th player in the modern era to hit a walk-off home run in his major league debut. The first since Carlos Perez, not the old pitcher, but guy who did it for the Angels 11 years ago. Miguel Cabrera did it, 2003 for the Marlins. My buddy Josh Bard did it for the Cleveland Indians in 2002 against the Mariners, and Billy Parker in September of 1971. I don't know, man. I couldn't put on the White Sox hat today because they're trying to chase down my Guardians. But I will admit, they're fun to watch, dude. They've turned into the fun team to watch. There's one every year. Like the last couple of years, it was the A's lineup. Now it's the White Sox lineup.
I hope my clip resurfaces in September, man.
You're rooting for them, huh?
Well, look, honestly, a little bit. They're just a fun team to watch, and so I have an inherent Twins bias. I wish the Twins were in this position, but they're just not right now. So yeah, I mean, I am rooting for them a little bit. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. They have a fun group there. That I don't know, man. They're kind of doing it the right way.
I mentioned Kyle Teal. He has yet to play because of that injury suffered in the World Baseball Classic. And Sox fans, you can put it in the comments. Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought he had a setback, is what I saw in his rehab. But once they get him back, it even lengthens the lineup more. Although they've got, like, Romo has done some amazing things behind the plate. We'll see kind of where they go from here. The one last thing I would ask is, if they're going to stick around, why wouldn't you trade for pitching?
The only thing I would say is they just like their guys too much, and they believe in the talent that they have in the minor leagues, and it's kind of like showing up now. But I agree. I mean, you should capitalize on this resurgence. Give the fans something. I mean, it's just who's going to be available. Jake and I just did our trade deadline episode. We recorded it last night. I think it's going to come out today. It's interesting, man. Like every year, every team needs starting pitching. So, the price for it is going to be astronomical.
Right. And with the number of teams, particularly in the American League, that stink but are still in it, it makes less guys available, you would think.
Exactly. I actually don't think that they trade for a starting pitcher, and I'm not as bad. Like, their starting pitching to me is sufficient for like what I think that they want to accomplish this year. I don't think they think they're a World Series team this year. So they're not pushing all the chips in. I think I could see them going for another reliever or something like that, somebody that they think is maybe undervalued, and maybe they get some sort of depth piece for their rotation because, I mean, actually, you look at their starting rotation; these aren't young guys. Like, that's not people that are trying to the workload shouldn't be there. Sandlin was one guy that they need to keep an eye on because he just hasn't pitched a lot. He's in the minors right now.
Yeah, but Noah Schultz is another guy they're going to have to keep their eye on.
Yeah, so I think there's a rotational depth piece wouldn't surprise me, but again, I just don't think they're ready to push all the chips in. I think if they go, I don't know. I say that now if you win the AL Central in the playoffs, and why not? But I don't think they're not going all in, Chris.
Here's the only thing I would say. With the American League being as horrific as it is this year, why wouldn't you?
I don't. I mean, I just think that they believe in their team over the next few years to get even better. That's why.
Okay.
I agree that seems like a time to strike right now if you're in the American League. The path to the World Series probably never been easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next week, not to get too far ahead of it, but the White Sox are in the Bronx next week. If you're looking for a litmus test, You get to go against Garrett Cole starting next Tuesday.
People
And
didn't
Carlos
get to hear that, but our super producer, Dan Rourke, Yankee fan, just laughed in your face.
I'm just putting it out there. Don't say you won't be interested in the series.
You know what? Just remember this, Dan. What is this? Our June 10th episode.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna remember this.
Just let us know if whether or not you believe. If you're a White Sox fan, do you want to see them push some chips in, try and improve the team, or you just say, hey, whatever they give us, because it's been so bad for the last several years, whatever they give us here in 2026, we'll take and we'll continue to grow. It's kind of an interesting thought. And a quick reminder, use the code BASEBALL2026. You're going to get 10% off your next set of tickets, courtesy of SeatGeek. All right, well, if you were in Pittsburgh, you got to see a little bit of individual history thanks to a certain future Hall of Famer.
Freeman to center field, a base hit. Number 2,500 in his career as the Dodgers pour it on in Pittsburgh.
If you had asked me 10 years ago, I probably would have brushed it off and kept going. But as you get older, you get a little bit more emotional and he's sentimental. But it is nice for people to take a moment out of their time and appreciate what you've done in this game. So it is special. I understand 2,500 hits is a lot of hits. So I'm happy to be able to do it. And, hopefully tomorrow we'll start the next 500 journey.
Nice of Freddie Freeman and the rest of his teammates to wait until Paul Skeens exited stage left before jumping all over that Pittsburgh bullpen, which needs some help. But let's focus on Freddie Freeman, who is currently the only active hitter in the 2,500 hit club. What has impressed you most about his career?
I mean, I think this is a cop-out answer, but I think it's the real answer. It's just the consistency. At this level, to be able to put up consistent years like he has, not just consistent, like consistently great years, it's just getting harder and harder, and he's been able to do it. Chris, since 2013, his age 23 season, his first All-Star season, he hasn't had an OPS plus under 132. And he posts. I don't know another way to say it. Like, there's been 2 years, 2015 he played 118 games, 2017 117 games. Those are his two low mark totals, besides obviously the 2020 season where he played every single game there. He's a guy that's in the lineup every day. He's played exceptional defense throughout his career, and it's just the consistency factor is so difficult to be that good for that long. And I mean, that's why you have 2,500 hits. And I think the people, you hear that number 2,500 and like, okay, great, whatever. That is so many hits. Like, getting 1,000 hits in the big leagues is like, whoa, dude, you freaking played for a long time and you've done it. 2,500 hits it's insane, Chris. I always try to do this with these numbers. 2,500 hits is 10 straight years of 250 hits. Think about that.
Well, nobody does that.
I know, but that's what that number is. It's wild, Chris. So I don't know. He's an incredible player. I got to see him early on in AAA. Played against him, man, and he was a fucking baller even then. And here we are 17 years later, 18 years later, and he's still doing it. So I don't know. I think I'm tipping my cap right now.
He's always been one of my favorite players to watch, and this is for several reasons. Number one, there have been few guys who have gone gap to gap better than him. He just stays on the baseball against left-handed pitching so well. I mean, the number of doubles he'll hit to the left center field gap is just awesome. Then we're showing this picture of one of his World Series walk-off homers. When the lights are bright, Freddie Freeman smiles, and those big fake teeth, they light up the entire stadium, man. He did it against Nestor Cortez with a walk-off grand slam in extra innings to really get the motor running for the Los Angeles Dodgers in game one of that series. They end up winning the World Series in 5 games over the Yankees. Then let's remember last year against the Toronto Blue Jays, they needed another big moment. They got that as well. What did he do it in the 18th inning?
Yeah, I was at the game.
You stayed for the whole game, didn't you?
Of course, we recorded an episode afterwards.
That's right. We didn't.
I got home at 3 a.m. that day.
Yeah, that's funny. That's pretty funny. Yeah, then you did our show.
I got home and did the. Oh my gosh,
that away. Sorry to bring up a tough one for you, but
that's amazing. He went 2 for 7 in that game, by the way.
So Freddie Freeman, when the lights are bright, can handle it. I think the one thing I take away from him, and having a lot of talks with him over the years, I think few athletes have enjoyed the ride and played at an elite level the way that he has. And what I mean by that is when I watched Jeter play, when I watched Albert Pujols play, guys like that, they were so focused on the task at hand. And I would sit there and wonder, how much fun are those guys really having? Like, they're, in Pujols' case, winning MVPs and a couple of rings, and with Jeter winning 5 rings and being one of the all-time great Yankees. But he never sat there and smiled on the field. It was always about winning, which I'm not taking shots at that. But what I'm saying is I think Freddie Freeman has truly found a balance. He is super competitive, but he also, if you talk to guys when they reach first base, they always talk about how warm he is, how accepting he is. And I asked Freddie about that one time for dugout discussions, and he said, Chris, I know how hard it is to get a hit at this level. And so it is an accomplishment when you reach first base. And it's okay to be a competitor, but also tell somebody, hey, hell of a job, or congratulations, or something like that. And I always think that he has found that balance of enjoying the ride, appreciating it for what it is, and also just being an elite player that we're going to see in Cooperstown.
Yeah, he's a great husband, great father. He's kind of done it all, man. So, gosh, that game, you're bringing back all these memories of that 18-inning game. Just people did not know what to do. You couldn't leave, Chris, but everyone was so tired.
I'll give you a choice as a former Major League player. You could join the 3,000 hit club or the 500 home run club. Which one do you want to be a part of? Only one.
Gosh, I feel like, I mean, how many homers do I get if I choose the 3,000? I still get a decent amount?
Freddie's going to get over 400.
I take that. I'll tell you why. I'll give you a reason why. Because you can hit 500 homers and still hit 220. Coming to the park and knowing you're going to hit 300 you're going to get a hit, whatever it is, 3 out of 10 times. There's just no better feeling. So for my mental state, I think that would make me the happiest, just getting knocks all the time.
Yeah. Which club do you think has more?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's pretty close.
Yeah. I think if I had to guess, I would say the 3,000 hit club has more.
There's 33 members of the 3,000 hit club. There's 28 of the 500 home run club.
There just used to be more hits than homers back in the day. That's why I said that.
Yeah. But I think 3,000 hits is going to be really interesting because after Freddie Freeman, we're going to have to wait a while. I know that Altuve is pretty close to 2,500. I think he's 70-ish away, but his legs are starting to go. He would get some infield hits that a guy like a Freddie Freeman wouldn't. And unfortunately, the injuries have started to pile up a little bit with Altuve that I don't know if he's going to play long enough to get to 3,000. Man.
Yeah, I do think that number is going to be one of those numbers that we're like, dang, people used to get 3,000 hits.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't know. Interesting. I'm going to ask you a question, and you tell me whether or not we talk about it. Okay? The Dalton Rushing slide last night. Yay or nay?
It's a stupid slide. I don't think it's particularly dirty. It is whatever. Like, it's okay. I keep forgetting he rolled in like that. Never mind. Yeah, it's dirty and it's just stupid because now the guy at first base is out no matter what.
I think it was Ohtani. Was it not?
It was Ohtani running. Yeah, I mean, he's out because of, I don't know. He's never played a Major League Baseball game where that was illegal or that was a legal slide. That was Alex Freeland.
Alex Freeland, sorry.
He's never been played in probably a professional baseball game where that's been legal. So what are we doing?
Yeah.
It's
As
not like,
Eric,
oh shoot, man, I went back to my roots. It's like, no, dude, like you never played when that was a thing. So it's just a dumb slide. And yeah, it is dirty. I mean, I just got all over Josh Naylor for doing something like that. Like
Yep.
there's like, if you're his teammate, you take him aside and say, what are you doing?
that's basically what Eric Caro said on the broadcast last night. Like, that's some old Hal McRae type stuff. It wasn't quite Hal McRae.
It's not even that. It doesn't go back to those days. I mean,
it's not.
But for today's game, it's not even close to a legal slide. So not only is it just stupid and can be considered dangerous and dirty, but it's a bad play because the dude at first is just out.
Yeah. Okay. That's that. I know the Dodger fans go, well, you wouldn't have brought it up with some. That's wrong. We brought it up with Josh Naylor the other day, folks. It just was a silly.
Josh Naylor was released on the base.
Right. I mean, this one, he slid. He was like in the Allegheny River when he slid. That was a little weird. Tell us what you think about Freddie Freeman, easy first ballot Hall of Famer. Which club would you rather be a part of? 3,000 hits or 500 homers? You can only choose one because I know there's a bunch of dudes that are in both, but you can only pick one. Not only tell us which one, but give us a reason why. Give us a little one-liner there in the comments section. I would appreciate it. And congrats, Freddie Freeman. Keep that ball rolling. Probably have to play another 3 years, or probably another 2 years after. No, 3 years after this, probably is my guess.
Didn't he come out and say, I want to play 20, get to 20 years?
Yeah, but look,
then he said, oh, wait, actually, I'm not sure if I want to do that. I think his wife had a talking.
Yeah, well, plus they just had a fourth child.
Yeah.
And so at some point, that pulls at you. There's no question about
100%.
that. All right, this episode of Baseball Today, it's sponsored by our friends over at Samuel Adams. This summer, America turns 250, and nobody's more ready to raise a glass than the beer named after the founding father himself, Samuel Adams. From the man who helped spark a revolution to the brand that's been brewing independence since 1984, Sam Adams is leading the celebration all summer long. So crack open a summer ale, that crisp, citrusy wheat ale with a bright lemon finish that tastes like the 4th of July in a glass. Or grab the limited edition Star Spangled Variety Pack. It's loaded with summer ale, porch rocker, American Light, and fan favorite Blueberry Lager. Look for their retro-inspired packaging at a store near you because this isn't just another summer. It's America's 250th. So join the rally, raise a Sam, for the founders, for the flavor, for 250 years of independence. Cheers to 250, America. This Sam's for you. Samuel Adams, Boston Beer Company, Boston, Massachusetts, SamuelAdams.com. Savor the flavor responsibly. Yeah, I said savor. I did.
All right.
Diamondbacks, they lose the first of a 6-game roadie. 10-6 was your final in Miami. Do not blame Ketel Marte, who got 3 more hits and has been swinging it over the last several weeks. Now, Marte's name once again in the rumor mill. That's because several reports have said the All-Star asked out of the lineup recently when facing Shohei Ohtani, and that his teammates say the act has worn thin in the clubhouse. Now, before Tuesday's loss, Arizona skipper Torey Lovullo, he had enough.
What I asked that stops is that that theme that something is wrong in our clubhouse or something is not right in our clubhouse because of Ketel Marte. That couldn't be further from the truth. He's been a great teammate, a great human being, a great husband, a great father, and he happens to be one of the best players in the National League. And that's what I'm going to focus on. He's going to help us win baseball games. He's going to help us get to where we got to get to. It's just one of those things where it's spinning away from us, and I want to make sure that I address it and defend the player because I believe in the player and I know the player and I know where his heart is, and it's about being a good teammate and winning baseball games.
Was it necessary that Skip did this?
Yeah, I think so. And this is such an interesting situation. I feel like it does happen a lot. You know, with the amount of people that cover these teams, all it takes is like one guy to say something, and I feel like reporters can kind of run with it. And I've been in a lot of clubhouses where you don't love everybody in your clubhouse. And there might be one guy who's like, man, can't believe Ketel Marte is getting an off day here, and just like says a sly comment to somebody, and then a reporter can kind of run with that and create the idea that, oh, everyone feels this way about a certain guy. Man, I'm telling you right now, you're not going to love all the other 25 guys in your team. You're just not. Very rarely do you have that, and that's great when you can. There's always going to be somebody who may not like this person, or hey, he's getting a better opportunity than I am, or I wish I had that off day against Ohtani. Like, can't believe he's doing that. Like, but it doesn't mean the clubhouse is in peril. It doesn't mean the guy that he's talking about is actually a bad guy. It's just one guy's opinion on that day. And like, so to go run and try to create a false narrative around their clubhouse, I think Torey's done such a fantastic job in Arizona. The reason he's been around for so long, he's got to be one of the longest tenured managers in the big leagues. I think it's great for him to come stick up for his players and come out and say this. And I guarantee he addressed the team as well, saying whoever's talking to reporters about stuff like this needs to freaking stop. This is us in here. So I love that he did that, Chris, because I think if you don't, like, sometimes these stories can start to take a life of their own, and we've heard this without really anybody on record. And I also don't like when that happens. So Torey did a good thing here, I think.
Yeah, well, this is the second time we've seen it now in less than a year where somebody in this organization has had to go front and center on behalf of Ketel Marte. Remember, it was Perdomo last year. And the reason it all came to a boiling point was Marte was nowhere to be found right after the All-Star game. Remember, he missed the next series? He said he wasn't in a good place. And like, that's the sort of shit that can make a team go sideways. That one is a big one. I think I don't want to say he even tapped out against Ohtani, because I don't know how they came to the decision that he would sit against him. To me, that happens all the time against really good pitchers, guys who are stars. It's hilarious. The 24th player on the team, hey, go get him. Go get Jacob deGrom today. Did that happen to you?
I never got any days off against these guys. Go look at the people I faced the most in my career. It's all the freaking studs of my era, dude. And you know what? Were there times where I was like, oh, well, this guy's getting a day off. That's great for me. But like, doesn't mean the guy's a bad guy. It means they're protecting him. He's one of the best players, and you want the guy in a good mental spot, dude. They used to do it all the time with I make fun of Moustakas all the time for it when I go play golf. I'm like, oh yeah, I mean, your numbers are great because you got to sit out against all those good left-handers. I never got that. Like, it's just part of the game, dude. Now, I don't know the true situation about after the All-Star break last year, but again, like, he's played for so long, and you never know what's going on off of the field. Like, there could have been a very reasonable reason that he was gone.
Well, here's the other side of this. Ketel Marte holds all the cards in his future with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He became 10-5 after the first, week or 10 days of the season, right? The whole offseason we spent wondering, would he be in an Arizona uniform, or is he going to be somewhere else? Because time's running out for Mike Hazen to make some Hazen. And he's here. So if they ever do want to move him for whatever reason, he will determine where he goes and when. And so you want to keep him in a good headspace. I'm not saying that the Arizona Diamondbacks are interested in trading him, although I do think that with the lack of bats out there, that for God's sakes, if they wanted to get rid of him this year, and I don't think it's smart, but I'm just saying, if for whatever reason, if things behind closed doors aren't as good as Torey Lovullo is saying, and they do want to move on, they could get a haul for him still. I know he's got $76 million guaranteed dollars, I believe, left, and he's in his early 30s. But man, that dude, as we've seen over the last few weeks, he's a wizard. He's a wizard with that stick. So I think that's just another part of this to keep in mind, is kind of the mental gymnastics that'll be going on from the Arizona side of things.
I'm trying to figure out how. So Kevin Cash.
What are you talking about?
Longest tenured managers. How do you find that?
You just type it in.
I'm doing that, dude.
Well, yeah, it's Cash, and
then it's got to be him.
Torey. When did Dave Roberts come in? It was right around
Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts could be on the list. Maybe Aaron Boone too.
No, Boone I think was 28. Oh, maybe he was 18. Was he 18?
Okay, I think Torey Lovullo has been around longer than that.
He has. I think he was 16 or 17, right? But yeah, it's a very small group.
Okay, I'm getting the article up, people. Give me a second. I found one on The Athletic.
All right, let's go.
Kevin Cash, 10 seasons, so since 2015. Dave Roberts, 9 seasons. So Torey Lovullo was in 2017.
Yeah, he and
Those are
Roberts
3
came
longest.
together, right? There you go. Okay, what do we think of the Ketel Marte situation? Do you think he's staying? Do you think he's going? I think he's staying. They're tied for the 3rd wild card right now in the National League. I thought it was a great move by Torey. Did you have any problem with him kind of taking, I suppose it was, I'm not going to call it a preemptive strike because the reports were already out there, but before it got any further, before those little sparks turned into full-fledged flames out there. Good move, Torey. That's why you're an Encino Little League guy.
Yeah, Valley guy, baby.
Today's episode, it is sponsored by Monarch Money. Summer, it's right here. That means vacation planning season is officially underway. The fun part should be picking the destination, not stressing about the budget. That's why getting finances organized ahead of summer makes such a difference. Trips, dinners, weekend plans, they're all way easier to enjoy when the money side already feels under control. Now, Monarch is the personal finance app that tracks everything. I'm talking about accounts, investments, saving goals, spending. Get your first year of Monarch Core for half off. I'm saying just $50 with the promo code today. So instead of guessing where the money's all going, Monarch lays everything out clearly. The AI weekly recap and insights feel like having a financial advisor right in your pocket, and the AI assistant can answer questions like, how much was spent on travel last summer? Or can this vacation fit the budget without touching savings? So use the code today, monarch.com. Get your first year of Monarch Core half off, $50. That's all it is. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with the code today. All right. Rockies. There's a reason I'm wearing this purple-colored hat, and it's not just because it matches my initials of CR. Rockies took care of the struggling Cubs 7-3 to give the hometown fans something to cheer about. And how about the statement from Colorado skipper Warren Schaefer? This was before the game. He was asked if it bothers him when visiting fans, like Cubs fans, flood his home venue.
Do I notice it? You absolutely notice it. How can't you notice it? It's loud for the other team in our own ballpark. Now, how much is that on us? I would say all of it's on us. I would say that when we start winning a ton of games, which isn't that far in the future, that the blue is going to morph into purple. I'm colorblind, so it looks the same, but it to other people it's going to be more purple, and I look forward to that day. And the only people we have to blame are ourselves for that.
Don't sleep on the colorblind line. That was very funny, Warren. What do you think of his statement?
I mean, I think it's fine. I think it's good to understand kind of where you're at as an organization. It's very obvious if you play for the Rockies right now. Like, yeah, you're not winning baseball games, and you haven't won baseball games for a long time. So, yeah, I mean, they still draw very well in Colorado, although I think it is down this year. In my experience, would you prefer the stadium to be packed with your home fans? Yes. But to me, it didn't matter. Like, there were times where the Brewers would come into town. We'd have the crosstown rivalry thing going on, and I loved it. It was fun. I played for the Rays, who they're in the exact same boat as the Colorado Rockies. Man, when the Yankees or whoever these big market teams came into town, you were playing an away game. But if the stadium was packed, I didn't care what side you were on. So I don't know. I think there was, I understand where he's coming from. He's kind of challenging himself and the organization there and in putting it out there that, hey, we're going to be better soon. I'm sure he's hoping to follow the route of the White Sox and the Nationals, right? Like, because they're a couple teams that were in the same boat. Now they're winning games. So I had no problem with it. But again, I prefer my stadium to be packed with my own fans. But if you had to ask me, would I rather the stadium be empty or packed with the opposing team's fans? I'm taking the opposing team's fans every single time.
Here's what I loved about it. He could have easily said, like, how much of it is our fault? Like, I would say 80-20. You know, there's always going to be fans from other teams. I think he easily could have said that, and I wouldn't have thought much about it. The fact that he said it's all on us, I loved that. I love that because it really isn't all on, because you're going to have, you know, Denver can be a little bit of a transient community, and it's not like baseball's been around for 100 years in Denver. It's been around for 30. So you do have people who moved out to Denver in their early 20s, and now they have kids. And just like my boys are Cleveland sports fans, their kids might be, what?
I can't believe you did that to them. Sorry, go ahead.
God, dude, for the longest time, I really thought social services was going to knock on our door and take them
They
away.
might. Still
But
might.
no, they might not. No. You stop that now.
I guess they're old and they're adults now. They can't do anything about it.
Well, not only that, we got a title in 2016 with LeBron, and a couple months later, we almost won the freaking World Series. Everybody rips on Cleveland fans.
One
Two of our three
title.
teams are very good. Two of our three teams
Two
are
of
very
your three teams are very good. Which two of those three teams are very good?
well. The Cavs finished in the Final Four.
Okay.
They limped home, but they at least made it to the Final Four.
Okay.
And then the Guardians, they're in it every year. What?
That's the first compliment you've ever given the Guardians.
That's not true. What I say is they don't have enough. This is about the Colorado Rockies. Can
sorry.
we get back to these guys here for a second, please? I loved that. That's called leadership, what Warren Schaefer did. Okay? And I think it's a small thing, but I love that he said it. And by the way, he's right. The Rockies have won over the last 3 years less than 41% of their home games. That's the tough go. Like, it's supposed to be, that place is supposed to be tough for the visitor to come in because they're the ones that have to make adjustments. They're the one whose pitching mentality gets screwed up. Let's go. Come on, Rockies. But my God, I saw them a few weeks ago, and I looked out at that team, and I was like, man, Hunter Goodman's playing his ass off. I'll say that.
You know, it is interesting, Chris, because I feel like if you're a smart guy and you really want to make an impact and like kind of have like the story be about you, like that's the place to go. Like you have this one-off, this park that plays different than anywhere else in the big leagues. You feel like, hey, like let's figure this out and let me be the guy that they write a freaking movie about. They're trying that now finally, and I think maybe it wasn't people not wanting to go there as much as it was ownership not letting people that could maybe fix the problem go there.
Okay. I understand. I got you.
Yeah.
All right. Rockies fans, if you're out there, we do want to hear from you. We don't get to talk too much about you on the field, but I thought your manager stepped up to the plate. Did you appreciate it? The whole bit. All right. A lot more shows still to go, but first, this word from my buddy.
This episode is brought to you by Fanatics Markets, where fans trade on sports. It's simple. You just pick a game and choose an outcome, like which team will win, which player will hit a home run, and more. It's time to get involved in the action. Then buy contracts based on what you think will happen. Yes, if you think it will. No, if you don't. Buy as many as you want. Sell if the price moves in your favor, or you let them settle when the event ends. And Fanatics Markets just got even more rewarding with Fan Cash. Now you can earn up to 10% Fan Cash on your trades, win or lose. Use it across the Fanatics ecosystem for things like trade credit, authentic apparel, collectibles, tickets, and more. Fan Cash is Fanatics' currency of sport, connecting trading, merchandise, collectibles, and experiences all in one place. Trade, earn Fan Cash, and unlock more with Fanatics Markets. Event contracts carry risks of total loss and changing prices, not good for all investors. Now available in all states. Must be 21 plus. See important disclosures in Fanatics Markets app. Customers are introduced to Crypto.com by Paragon Global Markets, LLC. DBA Fanatics Markets IB, an introducing broker registered with the CFTC and a member of the NFA.
Trevor, thank you very much. Hey, the Vegas game 2 of the series between the Brewers and the A's, it did not go off the rails, but it provided some excitement.
2-2. Underneath it, in the air, Freeman going back, looking up, he's done it again.
Yeah, all you can do is laugh about Nick Kurtz. He's rolling. That was early in the game. A's end up winning this one 7-5 instead of 11 home runs. I believe there were 6, 5 of which were hit by the A's. It was interesting because we made such a big deal about the 15-14 game, which you can understand when there's 11 combined home runs and everything. And some people gave us major pushback, like, what, you guys don't enjoy fun and all that sort of stuff? Was this a little more to your liking?
I just it was fine. I don't love the massive can't get a guy out pop-ups or homers type of games, even though some of the homers, I guess the StatCast didn't work on the Jonah Heim homer, so the exit velo and the launch angle they gave out was wrong initially. Okay. It's just an interesting place, Chris. It seems like it plays even more hitter friendly than Colorado right now.
Wow. It does feel that way.
Are shorter.
Yeah, and the outfield, we've talked about this with Colorado, that the outfield is so big and you have to play so deep. It's the little bloopers that will, death by 1,000 paper cuts on that one instead of the ridiculous homers.
A lot of people are saying that this stadium, because we were talking about what's the difference going to be in the new stadium and whatever, right? This one's almost like 1,500 feet higher.
Yeah.
So, and maybe some of my stuff on the air was wrong. I think I've read articles about this, but people are saying that the fact that the temperature will be different inside the stadium will also affect the ball flight. I don't know, people. All I know is if it plays like this, I don't think I'll be happy.
Yeah, and I can't imagine it will. But let's just accept it for what it is, which is a fun week of baseball. And if you're an offensive player, you hope that the schedule makers put you on this. And if you are a pitcher, you call in sick for the week. That's what you do. And Nick Kurtz is a beast. And we'll see him in July at the All-Star game. And I would like to see him in the Home Run Derby because I think he would be awesome.
Dude, his numbers this year, Chris. First of all, I think people have this misconception of Nick Kurtz as a guy that strikes out a ton, hits homers. He'll walk to like a 3 true outcome guy. He had 290 last year. 283 this year. He's already matched his season total of walks. He's got 63 walks in 66 games. Last year in 117, he had 63. So the on-base percentage is obviously much higher. 437, leading all of baseball there. Similar home run pace as last year. This guy's a freak. I have him. I don't put him on Yordan Alvarez's level just yet. But no. I think he's like there, dude, which is, if you know what I think about Yordan, then that's a very, very high praise.
Oh, yeah, he's awesome. I mean, he's not there yet because he's barely been in the big leagues, but awesome.
Who the heck? Who passed up on this guy? I guess only 3 teams did. Never mind.
That would be Cleveland, who took Bazana. Cincinnati, who took Chase Burns. And Colorado, who took Condon, Charlie Condon, out of Georgia, I believe, right?
Bazana, nice player. Okay. Chase Burns, doing it. Okay. I don't know Charlie Condon. But man, this seems like if I had to pick between all 3 of those guys, this kind of looks like the guy.
No question. Now it's up to the A's to sign him, which takes us to the final topic of the day. The Milwaukee Brewers have done it again. They have inked a long-term extension with a guy who has yet to take a big league at bat. This time it's 21-year-old Luis Lara. 7 years, $31 million guarantee, maxes out at $79 million. So Lara joins shortstop Cooper Pratt, who got the $50 million extension earlier this season. Jackson Churio, who got one for $84 before his first big league at bat. Should more small market teams follow this pattern that the Brewers are now in the middle of?
I would say yes, and I think that it will start to happen much, much more. We've seen it already become more than just a trend. I think teams are really understanding the value in this, and I think it could provide value both ways here. Essentially, it's just all these teams are truly guaranteeing, for the most part, is your through arbitration, maybe 1 year of free agency, and then it's just team options. That's what they're after. Like they know, like the way that you can evaluate players now, they have a pretty good idea if you're going to be a player on their team through arbitration, you know. And so they're basically just covering that, which is a controlled cost already. So they make sure that they do that. And they usually take like one free agent year, sometimes two, and then they start the team options. So for them, if they say this guy's going to be in the big leagues, we've seen players like him before, and this is our evaluation of him. That's all the risk they're taking is this. If he falls flat on his face, okay, we're out that arbitration number, which, you know, okay. Especially like a deal like this is not a big risk for them. But what the reward for the team is, yes, now we have all those free agent years. Usually that's like what they'd consider your prime up until you're like 30 years old. They have all those years covered, cost controlled. You got to earn it every single year. Team option, team option, team option. That's what they're going with. On the flip side, for the player, like for a guy like this who's smaller guy, you know, like not a big power guy, so that already makes it difficult to earn like big money. Essentially, that's how you pay players nowadays, is high OPS, power. I think they see the value in his floor, but for guys like that, you're basically you're guaranteeing that even if you do stink, you're getting this money through arbitration. So for a guy that hasn't stepped a day in the big leagues, I think it's hard to turn stuff like that down. And for the team, it's just like, yeah, okay, like we think you're going to be good, and then we have all these option years on top of it. I think it does make sense for both sides. Don't tell the Players Association that. I don't think they love stuff like this, but to me, I'm like, it's kind of a no-brainer for both sides. If they come to this agreement, like, yeah, I'm going to be a big league regular, or at least going to be on the team, it makes sense.
I really put three teams in this one group, and obviously the Brewers at the head of the organization, Tampa Bay Rays, who don't do it a lot, right? The one guy they did it with was Wander Franco, and we know what a disaster that is.
They started this. Like Evan Longoria was one of the first guys they ever did this.
Yes, he did it. I mean, but that's 20 years ago. But in between then and now, I mean, if you want to go back almost 40 years ago, the Indians were really the first team to do it under John Hart. John Hart, he did it with a bunch of, like, Sandy, I think, got a deal, a short deal. They did it with a bunch of pitchers, like Jack Armstrong. I want to say Scott Scudder got a deal, but they started to give some of their younger guys. I forget if Baerga got maybe some sort of deal, short deal as well. I don't think Tomei got one. I know Manny didn't because he split after his 6 years. But, you know, Tampa, as I mentioned, with Wander Franco, that's like, I'm curious why they didn't do it with Junior Caminero. Maybe they went to him. We don't know. Cleveland, I have no idea why they didn't do it with Travis Bazzana. I understand why they didn't do it with DeLauder because of his injury history. But Bazzana,
they could still do it with Bazzana. He's been
for
a month.
They could. Yeah, I think more teams should. I really do. I think the Cincinnati Reds should have done it with some of their players, and they haven't done it.
Yeah, again, I think it's just, especially right now, I think become easier to evaluate players over the long term. You know, everyone has their system in each organization. The data is out there, so it's less of a guessing game. I'm in. I mean, I got some guys I think the Twins should do it with too.
I mean, the Braves did it with Ronald Acuna. His was less than a year of service time, I think, and he makes $17 million a year. I mean, the Braves have made out beautifully with that deal. You know, Kevin McGonigal just got he get 130 or whatever from the Tigers? And
the success rate doesn't have to be super high to like really get that money back. Depending on what deals you're giving out, you know, if you hit on, let's just say 50% of them, I feel like you're doing well as an organization.
And we would be remiss if we didn't say that maybe some of these teams are waiting until after the next collective bargaining agreement is scratched to say, okay, well, now we know what the parameters are for the next 5 or 10 years. Now we can do our business. But I don't know. I think that's more of an excuse than anything else. You can let us know in the comments section, like which of your young players should your team have already done this with, or who's like the next guy in your farm system that you'd like to see your team rope in at some point. So it's got to make sense for both player and organization. All right. Enjoy your full day of baseball on this Wednesday. We will break it all down in 24 hours from now, and we cannot wait. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe, I am Chris Rose. We will see you Thursday with different shirt combination here on Baseball Today, presented to you by T-Mobile.